I've been looking for a game since I was 11 that is about a boy who does tasks around a city, and in a shopping center there is a machine where you can get prizes. The cover is blue, and there is also one exactly the same, but for a girl. Guys, I need your help! Do you remember that DS game where you would color in a barn and it would start as a blank screen, and a monkey with a beret would say, "What a beautiful sight! What's that you say? There was nothing here? Oh ho, no yet!" And then he would swish his paintbrush and the outline of the barn. Anyone know a game where you travel in portals and collect puzzle pieces? I'm ripping my head off. Somebody please help me out. I just can't remember one DS game. About 100 of stages, needed password to skip stages. Maybe it was Disney? Not sure. In black and white. Does anyone know the game I'm thinking of? It was download only, I think, but it was basically an RPG roguelike, where you would travel through a portal every time to enter a world, and you had spells, and consumable spells, and you could use different weapons, and one of the bosses was Minotaur, and you also received a candle at some point, and the first world was grassy, and the music was happy. There was also many skills? Please help. This game was so addictive. Does anybody know the name of the game where you are in a house playing as a girl, and I think you have to escape the house by solving problems, and then there's a garden and you have to escape that, and then later on there's like a carnival. Does anybody remember that game where you got to customize your character? You'd have your own house to the right of the town. You could customize the town, and you do missions for the town folk. And then one of the end missions, you have to solve a puzzle, and then you complete it. I can't think of the name for the life of me. Please somebody help me finding the name of this game. It was a kid 2D pixel black and white game in which you were a little kid, and there were plenty of shops, like bakery and stuff like that. And in every shop you could play mini games such as mathematical problems to solve. Does anybody have the same childhood as mine? Please, I'm searching for this for a long time. I'm trying to find a game. I don't remember it that much. All I remember was that it was a pixel game. It kind of looked like Pokemon, but isn't Pokemon, and that you could sleep at night. Like, you had your house and you could sleep. If I'm not wrong, you had to bring some guy something. If someone can help, I don't know that much information, but if what I remember, it's like an RPG, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember this game super well, but I remember playing it a lot as a child. I remember playing it on an old 2DS XL. I don't think I had a cartridge, but I remember it as one of those little free games you would get as little presents on the home screen. I don't remember it super well, but I believe you could walk around in a 2D world, and there was lots of weird shapes or something like that. I believe you could go underwater at some point, and there was an island you could get on from the water. I also remember underwater there was some sort of shipwreck silhouette. I believe you could also collect coins or something. I can't explain it super well, as I haven't played it since I was like 8. I've looked everywhere for the game, and I can't find it. Does anybody else have a memory of a game similar? I'd really like to find the mysterious game from my childhood. Do you guys know this game? You are a little girl and your grandfather is missing, and we trying to find him. It's kind of creepy, with a theme of old temple with traps in the jungle, if you can understand. So the little girl is like with a plush, and I think it was a dog or something like that, and he was talking to us because the girl got trapped with his grandfather in a circle totem thing. Was really creepy, and we needed to solve the puzzle to rescue them, something like that. Really want to know the name of this game, and it was in a mansion, and you could go outside too, I think. I don't think that game is here, but please tell me if you find. I can't remember clearly, but as much as I remember, it was gray, white, and black colored game. There were a lot levels that you could play. Some levels, they were mines that follow you, and etc. Does anybody know this game? In the prologue, your father goes away and we go on an adventure. Sorry, but I don't remember much else. Does anybody remember a game where you play as dudes in yellow suits and they had mustaches doing a bunch of mini games like draw a line for a bomb rope to set it off and dig up I remember playing it with my cousins. It's like party games where it was a bunch of mini games. Does anybody know of a game where you're playing as a kid and you go around doing missions with like bullies and like forging your parents' signature and playing pranks on apartments and whatnot? Does anyone know this game? I remember it as a game that had fighting like Pokemon, but used more human characters. It was definitely kind of open world, story progression. I think one of the fighters was a Frankenstein guy and another was a rock star. I can't find it anywhere. It could be DSi, but not 3DS. I am in search of a game. I have hazy memories of this game, but I think it was set in a desert or dry land that had a small robot you find in the beginning. I am very confused and am seeking help. Anyone remember a game where it was very vibrant colors? I believe it was a Japanese puzzle game, and I got it somewhere in 2011, and it was very party-like. Does anyone remember this game where it's like a bunch of mini games where some of you were an insect battling another one, and others were like you had to draw certain things? It was kind of childish and consisted of mostly animals. I had it on my DSi when I was about 5 or 6. So does anyone remember? If you do, that would be great. Does anyone remember this game where it's like orange themed and there were a lot of mini games? Like one of them was getting fish out of someone's stomach and one was like skydiving trying to draw a picture. What was the name of that one hamster game that you would do challenges and the most memorable challenges were parachuting onto a target to get points? I've been trying to find this one game. I forgot what it's called, but I remember some stuff. So it's Pixels, I think, and at first you meet like 2 people. I think they ask you to do something, and then after that you go outside and there's a park near the building. There's a few mini games I remember. So in the bakery one, you drag the cake to the girl, but you also drag the milk to the girl so she doesn't get dehydrated. I don't remember anything else, but I remember you can fish near the ocean, and there's this one platform I used to stand on because I liked it there better. I remember one more thing. Sometimes there's little sparkles, and it gives you something, I think. I really want to try it, and again, because I just found my old Nintendo DS. Sorry if you don't understand some stuff. I'm really bad at explaining stuff. Does anybody remember that DS game where you would like fly around as a bird in a 2D world? I swear I can't figure out the name of that game for the life of me. Does anyone know that this DS game where you play as the Earth and the Earth is shooting bullets at planets that shoot back? In other words, a game in which you play as Earth and you destroy planets. It's a 2D game. I have a feeling it's part of a game pack. Does anyone remember this game where you would go to this magic academy and you go to a ship that takes you to another planet or something? It was an RPG. Anyone know what that game was about summer camp was called? Like you would have the kids compete in competitions and some were signing. They sounded awful. Or like climbing ladders and fighting off snakes. Anyone remember this DS game? You were basically a giant insect and you had a circle thing on the bottom screen. You would have to connect the dots, literally. And if you did it perfectly correctly, you would do a huge attack. It was called Giant Insects or Giant Bug Battle or something like that. Can't find this one game where every turn you'd get like 3 warriors and they'd get like a chain power up every time you match the same type. They'd then attack at your opponent's wall. Does anyone know that game where you were in a city solving mysteries or either being a detective or a spy or something, and there was a nightclub and you could go to with the neon colors and it had a kind of an Animal Crossing type of play style. It might have been called Spies or Detective City or something. I've been trying to find the music to that nightclub for years. This is like in the 2000s or like the very early 2010s. I can't find this certain game. It's like a vertical jet fighter shoot 'em up with 3D graphics. Not for the 3DS. You can like switch between weapons. One of the weapons is like an enemy chasing laser or something like that. Trying to find a mystery puzzle game, and I remember you had to figure out how to find a hole in a tire by putting soap and water and putting the tire in there. Then something with a train, and in a jail, I think, M. I remember this game, and you used your left brain and right brain as players, and there were other games inside of it. One of them was digging up dinosaur fossils. I know, it's super weird. Anyone know that game similar to The Sims? The only thing I can remember was your character losing energy, and then you can go up to the TV, and it would go fuzzy, and you could hear noises.